If time in NBA history, there will be a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. The Indiana Pacers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at 8 p.m. in Oklahoma City. Home teams are 15-4 in Game 7s, with the last team to win on the road being the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James over Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. The Cleveland Guardians defeated the Athletics 4-2 yesterday. The two teams will meet again today at 4:05. The Guardians are 38-37 and second in the AL Central. The Cincinnati Reds fell to the St. Louis Cardinals 6-5 in 11 innings yesterday and have now lost 3 games in a row. The two sides will face off today at 2:15. The Reds are 39-38 and fourth in the NL Central. And Tommy Fleetwood is the leader after 3 days at the Travelers Championship at 16 under par. He is looking for his first PGA Tour victory since turning pro in 2010. Russell Henley and Keegan Bradley are both 3 shots back in second at 13 under par.
From ONN, this is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scotty Vegas, producer Cam Taylor at the controls. Scotty, my friend, great to see you. This is the first time we've done a show together in the studio since the month of May. The last time we did a show together was out at Muirfield Village for the Memorial Tournament. Great to see you again. Great to be back in the studio with you.
I know, Dave. I've missed you. I mean, this is crazy now. So obviously we had the Memorial Tournament, and that was so much fun. We did that show live out there. But then I was in Florida for a week. Then you were gone up in Michigan for a week, right? So finally, we're back together, and it's great to see you.
People might say, Michigan, what are you doing, man? I'm like, I tell you what, the Upper Peninsula, we had never been there. I had never seen Lake Superior. I don't think I'd ever seen Lake Huron either. I've seen Lake Michigan plenty of times being in Chicago. Never been to Lake Superior, so that was really cool. The Upper Peninsula is a really, I don't know if we'll ever go back, but that's a one-time vacation. We were just there 6 nights. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is beautiful.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's always been kind of on our list too. You know how you kind of get together with the family and you're like, okay, what's the next vacation? Because, sometimes you like to do the repeat vacations where you're like, okay, I know that this beach experience is great. We could go back to that. But then there's always that time where you're like, okay, we need something new, a new place to go. And that's kind of been on our list. We've looked at places up there and wanted to do it a few times and just have not pulled the trigger. So you absolutely recommend the Upper Peninsula and going up there for a vacation.
Yeah, it wasn't like my favorite vacation ever, but it was relaxing. It's not a bad drive from Columbus. I was able, it's like the Autobahn up there. So even with stopping, I was able to get from Columbus across the Mackinac Bridge, which that's pretty cool because that's where Lake Huron and Lake Michigan become the same body of water for like 5 miles or something like that. It's really cool. I got to our house that we were renting in 7 hours from Columbus, including stops.
That's not bad.
And on the way back. Now, you're driving up there, you're going like 90 miles an hour pretty much the whole time, or people are going to be passing you like crazy. So that helps make it go fast.
Now, you and I are both beach guys. We love to do the vacation at the beach. I'm generally like Virginia Beach or Myrtle Beach or down in Florida. Was the water warm enough up there for you guys to go in and enjoy, or did you guys do boating, jet ski? What did you guys do up there?
Everybody said it's going to be too cold to get in the water, but we got lucky because the weather was actually a little warmer than usual. We didn't ever go like full in the water. We just went out, and it was very shallow, so we got in the water, and then we did a little, a boat tour, a 2-hour boat tour around Lake Superior. Saw a place called Pictured Rocks, which is really cool. Lake Superior is awesome. It was really cool seeing that. All right, let's get to some matters of sport. We have a Game 7 in the NBA Finals tonight. The first one since LeBron James and the Cavaliers beat the Warriors coming back from 3 games to 1 down 9 years ago. 9 years ago. It's been 9 years since we've had a Game 7. We have one tonight, the Pacers versus the Thunder. Here's your betting line. The Thunder are favored by 7. All right, if you want to do just the money line, OKC is minus 275. If you're a yes, sirs type of person, you want to go money line on the Pacers to win this, plus 225. Plus 225. I thought it'd be right around 2-1, a little higher than I thought. A little better odds than I thought for the Pacers. Over-under is 214.5. All right, so there's been this debate about, are the Pacers an Cinderella team or not? And you really can make a salient argument on either side. Scotty, I saw an interesting story on The Athletic today that just looked at the analytics. And if you look at their regular season, postseason, everything combined, strength of schedule, margin of victory, everything, they're saying that they would be one of the worst teams to win the NBA Finals. Really the worst since like 1980. basically since the ABA NBA merger, they would basically be the worst. Although the first couple years of the merger was very wanky, so like there were some teams in there like the Washington Bullets that won one that would be considered worse. They also said this would be the 20th best Pacers team of all time. So like the Reggie Miller Pacers with the Davis brothers and Mark Jackson, those teams by the metrics are considered better. Here's the problem with that. It's hard to argue against the math. Because you're considering the regular season. Yeah, up until January, they were just like an okay team, right? They were just like average. They were banged up. They weren't playing good. Since January, they've been a killer. So it's like, yeah, if you take everything into account, I understand that they would be considered one of the worst champions, a Cinderella. But, man, you watch this team. They're talented. They're deep. I mean, they've got a good bench with 3 really good guys coming off the bench as well. They've got, in my opinion, a future Hall of Fame head coach. In fact, probably in the opinion of many. So I see both sides. I'm going to go with they are not a Cinderella.
And I am going that they absolutely are a Cinderella. And what do I base everything on? I base everything on the odds. And the odds tell me that they are a Cinderella story. Here's a couple reasons why. So before the season started, the Indiana Pacers were 66-1 to win the NBA championship. 66-1. So that alone tells me they were a long shot. But it's funny, Dave, because even as the season went along, those odds were even crazier because to start the playoffs, they were 80-1 to win the NBA championship.
Okay, they're a Cinderella.
Yeah, I mean that's literally.
I changed my mind.
Just 2 months ago, 80-1 at the start of the playoffs because everybody's thinking 3 teams, right? You're thinking Boston, you're thinking OKC, and you're thinking Cleveland because of the regular season that Cleveland had, and then Indiana comes in. And they pull off these upsets, and they get all the way to the championship, and now they've made it all the way to Game 7. They're a 7-point dog again tonight. I think it's absolutely an unbelievable Cinderella story in a time, Dave, when we don't see a lot of Cinderella stories because in the NBA, you've got a 7-game series, right? Every single playoff series, you're going 7 games. So generally, you're going to find the best team throughout the 7 games is going to win. The crazy thing is I pulled up the sports odd history, and in the NBA, we just do not see runs like this because, okay, so these odds go all the way back to 1994. Okay, so about 40 years we're going back, and the longest odds from preseason odds to win the NBA championship actually took place in 2014, and it was the Golden State Warriors when they won their first title with Steph, and they were 28-1 preseason. Those are the longest odds in the last 40 years. Preseason was the Warriors at 28-1. You now, Dave, have Indiana with 1 game away, and they were 66-1 at the beginning of the year.
We're going to do a this or that later this hour, and I just thought of it. So I was going to kick it to Cam and get his thoughts, kind of break the tie. Although, well, he wouldn't be breaking the tie. I think I came back. Because you look at all the odds you mentioned, plus, the story that I mentioned, even though there is, it's a little misleading because of the first 2.5 months of the regular season, the Pacers weren't really the Pacers, and they've been excellent since January. But if you factor in the advanced analytics saying that they're one of the worst teams, even just to get this far to a Game 7 in the finals, and everything you mentioned, I will have to probably agree.
Convinced you?
You convinced me. Now, well, maybe we'll do a this or that later, and we'll get Cam's thoughts on that as well. We're also going to do, for the people out there that are Scotty Doesn't Know fans, we're going to do an extended version of Scotty Doesn't Know in the second hour. So right around from about, I don't know. It would be about 10:15 to about like 10:40. Just straight.
My gosh.
With maybe
That's
just
a lot of doesn't knows.
With just one Scotty Doesn't Know, or just was one commercial break mixed in. It'd actually be about from like 10:16 to about 10:42.
Woo!
Just nothing but Scotty Doesn't Know. It's going to be vacation themed.
It's going to hurt my head.
It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. What about player props for tonight? Who do we like to win this game tonight? Do the Pacers have more than just a puncher's chance? And again, what are some player props we like? That's coming up next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN. Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something.
Does it solve a problem?
It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
So one of the amazing things to me about this Pacers run is that just in major sports lately, we have seen chalk almost always comes through. And so what we're seeing with a team in the Indiana Pacers who are 66-1 to start the NBA season, we see, in my mind, a Cinderella story. Because look, let's go through these major sports and who's been winning the championship. Let's go to college basketball. The teams that won this year, Florida, huge favorite going into the NCAA tournament. The year before that, UConn, big-time favorite going into the NCAA tournament. Let's look at college football. Ohio State wins the national championship. They were one of the top teams preseason to win the national championship as far as odds. The year before that, it was Michigan. That's not a surprise Cinderella story with Michigan winning that year either. Go back, NFL. You had the Eagles win it this year. They were 12-1 preseason. The year before that, you had the Chiefs at 6-1. In hockey, we just saw back-to-back Stanley Cup champions with Florida. Baseball, who won the World Series this last year? The Dodgers. Of course, they spend a ton of money. Not a Cinderella story. So, Dave, for me, this run by Indiana, again, 66-1 preseason to win the NBA championship, 80-1 at the beginning of the playoffs, is a surprise. Now, let's look specifically at tonight and Game 7, and I don't think they're going to do it. I think Oklahoma City on the money line is probably the betting play that I will make for tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to probably focus on player props because I'll be rooting for the Pacers, but every part of my brain thinks that the Thunder is going to win this game. I shouldn't say every part. I do think the Pacers, they have a chance. Again, I mean, they're a good team personnel-wise, and having Rick Carlisle as the head coach, that's a difference maker right there. You're talking about a future Hall of Fame head coach. So it just feels like the way this series has been, the way the Thunder are in general, that they're going to bounce back, especially playing at home. but you never know. I think everybody thought the same thing about the Warriors 9 years ago against LeBron and Kyrie. And, whatever you want to say about Kyrie, man, he hit one of the biggest shots. Maybe, was it the biggest shot in Cleveland Cavs history? Is that fair to say?
I think it's fair to say,
Cam? That was the biggest shot in Cleveland Cavs history?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I was like jumping out of my seat. I've never hated them, even when I didn't root for them when they were playing my Bulls, but it's hard to be a Bulls fan anymore. So I was jumping out of my chair, like screaming. My wife, because it was late at night, my wife came down to watch the last part of the game. That was really cool. It's amazing that was 9 years ago. It doesn't seem like it was
wild.
That time.
Yeah, 9 years.
Just fly by.
I was up in Cleveland at my wife's family's house watching that finish, and you're right, it doesn't feel like 9 years ago, Dave. I
feel good for my Cleveland friends because they needed that, just to get a championship with everything that, how close the then Indians were for, the one time that they lost to the Cubs with Francona, and then obviously in the 90s when they got there a couple times. It was good to see Cleveland get over the hump and win their city a championship, and we'll see what can happen tonight. Okay, one player prop parlay that I like real quick. Okay, this is two big guys for the Thunder. I don't know what I'm thinking here. I like Isaiah Hartenstein is how you pronounce that. I was looking at it, making sure I had that right during the break. He's German. Isaiah Hartenstein, 7 points or more. All right, plus 134. And Chet Holmgren's coming off just a horrible performance. Really hasn't played well for most of the series. I tend to think he might bounce back. I'm not a big Chet Holmgren fan, but I think he can get 17 or more points tonight. And that's at plus 132. But if you parlay those together, Hartenstein, 7 or more points. Holmgren, 17 or more points. You're getting about 4-1 odds, plus 390 on ESPN Bet. And I think I'm going to rock that.
Yeah, what's funny is I think a lot of people think Game 7 teams generally get a little bit tight going into it and a little bit more defense, a little bit more low-scoring games. However, that might be true historically. That trend has not been relevant recently, and so I actually would take the over on tonight's game. The over-under on the night is 214.5. I kind of expect that to go over a little bit. And again, we've seen Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals where you had the Nuggets and Thunder. The Thunder scored 125 in a game that finished with 218. And the Nuggets, Game 7 in the first round series, had 221. So we've seen Game 7s lately have been going over. I think Game 7 tonight will go over the 214.5. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk Ohio State football. Had a chance to talk to Jim Tressel. Yes, Jim Tressel on Friday. We're going to play some sound and react to that next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. Strike. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. 470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
All right, Scotty, you and I are huge Jim Tressel fans, and I think that's the case for anybody who loves Ohio State football. This man came in after winning 4 national titles at the 1AA level at Youngstown State, came in and immediately flipped the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry on its head. Had the 310-day speech. You have a good story about that I had never heard. This is awesome. And then win a national championship his second year. Goes 9-1 against Michigan, and just an absolute legend and a great guy. And I got to admit, I've interviewed Tress a lot over the years, and I'm a little jealous. You and Anthony got to interview him for a full hour, got to just hang out with him for a half hour before that. I say I'm jealous. I'm really happy for you guys. He is salt of the earth. He's a legend. And let's talk about some of our favorite Jim Tressel memories. Let's start with the 310-day speech. One of the coolest things ever. I still get chills thinking about it. I think about Michigan fans at the time were probably laughing, like, who is this guy saying he's going to come up to our place? We own you guys. Who's this Jim Tressel guy from Youngstown State? And they go up there and do it, and they win the national title the next year. I always thought for sure, Scotty, it was at a Ohio State-Michigan basketball game, the day that Tressel had his introductory press conference was that evening. I always thought that was scripted, and I didn't have a problem with it because it was such an awesome speech. It wasn't scripted. Tell the people what you learned from Mr. Tressel.
Yeah, it's funny because it was one of the last questions I asked him, but I always wanted to because I was actually in the shot that night when he came in and did a speech, and I can still specifically remember because it was such a crazy day. You know, Jim Tressel named head football coach, and there's a lot of people who are like, who's Jim Tressel? You know, I mean, not a lot of people thought it was going to be Glenn Mason, right, from Minnesota.
Yep.
And so, okay, it's announced Jim Tressel is the new head coach, and he's introduced and all that good stuff. I still remember walking over to the shot that night with my brother, and it was a big basketball game, and we were walking in, and we were just kind of having the conversation like, boy, I don't know. You know, this is Ohio State. You know, I'm surprised we didn't get a huge name. And then you walk into the shot and, you know, they give him the microphone. They introduce him. And he comes up with that speech, the 310 days. You'll be proud of our young people in the classroom, community, and most especially on the football field. And the place just erupts.
Yes.
Right. I remember just jumping out of my seat, the goosebumps, the excitement of the coach coming out and calling out the number of days until the Michigan game. And then he sold us that day. He sold us that day. And so I asked him about that speech and like, when did you prep that? When did you know it was coming? And he told me, he said, here's what happened. So he was named coach. And they said, hey, can you go and do a little, you know, introduction at the basketball game where we'll introduce you? And he's like, you know, we got up there and there were some people clapping and a lot of them didn't know who I was, but they were politely clapping of the new football coach. And then he's like, and then they handed me the mic. and I didn't know it was coming. And he's like, oh, well, when I went through the interview process, the thing that kept coming back to me was everybody put such an emphasis on you got to beat Michigan. And he's like, I knew the number of days. And so I just went up and I said, what I said. And he's like, I didn't have it prepared. I didn't know I was even talking that night. And so he gave that legendary speech kind of on the fly, which shocked me because it is, you think of sports speeches and stories, and at least for me, it is at the very top because that helped change the whole narrative of the rivalry, and he backed it up in 310 days.
The fact that he ad-libbed that speech has gone from one of my favorite speeches in the history of the world to I think my favorite.
Yeah,
like I can't believe I was already like I said. I mean the footage is grainy on YouTube, but but the audio is fine. You're right. I mean I still get chills listening to it. You can hear the fans go crazy. And again, I always think of Michigan fans must have been, sure, yeah, okay. Yeah. And then 1 and 9 later, what were you thinking?
So one
the
of the
fact
other
that he
things,
ad-libbed that is amazing to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other things, and Cam has the audio on this too, is obviously Ohio State is going to try and repeat as national champions this year. Jim Tressel went through that same thing after winning the national championship against Miami. The next year, Ohio State was one of the favorites to do it again. And so I kind of asked him about the challenges the next year after winning a title, and you have to go and you have to back it up. And here's what he said, because that team was very good, however, ended up losing to Michigan. And he takes a little bit of blame for that one. Cam, go ahead and play that clip.
What I recall from that year, which was a great lesson and a little bit of suffering like we talk about, by the time we're going into the Michigan game, if we win the Michigan game, we're going to be back in the championship game. And the great lesson I had from that is I didn't do a great job of staying focused on the Michigan game. I think I let the natural thought of, hey, if we win this, creep in. That was a valuable lesson. I think Ryan's situation's a little bit different because of the playoff thing, and I lived the playoffs for 15 years, working on getting better every day, knowing that you're probably going to meet 4 of the top 10 teams at the end of the year in a row. It was a natural thing to be thinking through it.
But isn't that surprising to you? Like he kind of admitted that they were looking forward to the national championship game because this was a team that had won it the previous year, and then that Michigan loss kept them out from the opportunity to repeat.
He's such a good guy. Did he even say that? He had one loss against Michigan and never lost to them again after that one, and he's like putting it on his shoulders. That was a good Michigan team, and Ohio State had beat them 2 years in a row. And do you remember, because Krenzel got hurt, and they put Scott McMullen in there, and he was leading a comeback. Mm-hmm. And Michigan fans, and Chris Gamble had a really good interception. All of a sudden, Ohio State was mounting a comeback, and they cut it to like 7, and they were showing Michigan fans in the stands getting all worried. But Michigan pulled that out, and that was their only win during the Tressel era. Just absolutely fantastic. What's another quick story you want to tell before we hit a break?
Yeah, so this one was one that I loved that I had never heard before, because obviously OSU loses that game, and it's devastating, right? And so back in those days, you didn't get a chance to go to a playoff and make up for that loss to Michigan. So the next game was against Kansas State. And he talked to us a little bit about how tough that was of, oh my gosh, how do I get my guys up and interested in playing that game against Kansas State? And there was one player that stepped up. Cam, go ahead and play that audio.
I'll never forget going into bowl practice. We were selected to play in the Fiesta Bowl, which we had just been to. So I thought, that's not as exciting. And, it's Kansas State. That's not a marquee name like playing Miami or Notre Dame or somebody. I thought, man, this is going to be a job. And we had a great group of seniors, 5 of which I think were taken in the first round or something. I mean, we had great players. And I thought, boy, this is going to be tough for them. They're not, a year ago, they're playing for the national championship. Are they going to be thinking about, what about my NFL career? First day of bowl practice, one of the most astonishing things I've ever seen. We're in our team meeting. Will Smith says, I need to say something to this group. And he walks up to the front of the team meeting room and he said, hey, look, I am not losing 2 in a row in my final season at Ohio State. So you guys better practice like this was the national championship, or you're going to hear from me. And I mean, the place was like, no coach could have said that, right? That was Will Smith, who didn't even need to come back for that season. He would have been a first-round draft choice if he'd left early.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was trying to guess who it was. I was thinking maybe Michael Jenkins, and I thought, nah, he's a little, because Krenzel's the obvious one, right? When I heard him say Will Smith, I'm like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that probably didn't talk much, but when he did, you could hear a pin drop.
Oh, yeah.
People say the same thing about A.J. Hawk. A.J. Hawk didn't talk a lot, but when he did, everybody was like, okay, A.J.'s saying this. Let's lock in. All right. How about we have more of an ode to Jim Tressel next segment? That's coming up next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts are on sale for just $2.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something.
Does it solve a problem?
It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
So I've been working at the Fan about 15 years and have had countless awesome experiences working here, but getting a chance to sit down with Jim Tressel for over an hour on Friday on Rothman and Ice was right at the top as far as really, really cool things. It was a golf outing for Gigi's, which is near and dear to Anthony Rothman's heart because they raise money and they save dogs.
Oh, nice.
And they've saved over 17,000 dogs, and it's incredible. So really happy to support the Gigi's golf outing out there. And then Jim Tressel's out there supporting it, comes out there early, sits down, talks with Anthony and I for about 20 minutes before the show even starts. And then we do almost an entire hour with Coach Tressel. Got into a lot of different things, including the current playoff format and whether he's in favor of that versus what he used to have, which was a BCS system where 2 teams made the championship game. So that was kind of an interesting conversation. But one of the things that I asked him, too, was what kind of piece of memorabilia do you have from the 2002 national championship? Because I was curious. The thing that I've always wondered, because he had that obviously scarlet sweater vest. I was always curious, do you still have that thing in the closet? Does it still have the Gatorade stains, all that stuff? And apparently he does not have that anymore. However, what he did keep was a itinerary. He said it was a 4-inch binder that he kept, where it was from right after the Michigan win all the way through the national championship game, and it had every little piece of detail of his entire process on going to win the national championship. You know, the practice schedules and the different things that they would work on, and all the way down to the itinerary of where they were staying and all that stuff. So it was really cool. It surprised me a little bit that the piece of memorabilia from a national championship wouldn't be, a football or something, that you and I would think of to hang up in a man cave. Instead, for him, it's a 4-inch binder of the process in which he went from the end of the Michigan game all the way through the national championship.
Now all I can think about is I want that sweater vest with the Gatorade stains on it. That'd be awesome. The Jim Tressel, what he wore for the national championship game against Miami,
Yes.
beautiful Sun Devil Stadium.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
That would be awesome. We got it. We have to have him find that now that you're buddies with him. Maybe text him, hey, can you look in your closet and maybe try to find it?
Well, okay, so another piece of memorabilia that I was thinking about, I just found out was sold recently too. So we all know after Jeremiah Smith made that catch that Ryan Day threw his headset, right?
Yes.
So his headset, and I heard Ross Bjork talk about this recently at a golf outing. A lot of stuff happens at golf outings.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Ryan Day threw his headset. It actually ended up in the stands. And so an Ohio State staffer had to go and get it, say, hey, this is, our equipment. We need it and all that stuff.
It was your equipment.
It was. And so that headset ended up being sold on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer to raise
awesome.
money.
That's
So,
perfect. I was going to say, hopefully it went for charity, and it did. That's awesome.
I hope it went for a ton, because I would have bought that headset.
What's funny, we did exactly. We still need to get the Nico's helmet from Tennessee that was cracked in half by Cody Simon.
Yeah.
Tennessee's athletic department won't get back with me on that. We would actually like to purchase that here in Columbus, Ohio. We want to set it up in Neyland North. Jim Tressel, when we did this show sheet for today, as we were wont to do, we ripped up half of it because I was going to talk some Ohio State football, recruiting. Recruiting's actually, this is a huge month for recruiting, obviously. But you're like, hey, by the way, Anthony and I interviewed Jim Tressel for an hour on Friday, and we have clips of that. And we talked to him for a half hour, off the air as well. I'm like, yes, we're going to do 2 segments on that. We're just going to rip up what we were planning on doing for 4 and 5, and we were going to do Jim Tressel instead. Go ahead.
One of the coolest things to me, so for me, growing up, Jim Tressel and Thad Matta were the 2 coaches that I absolutely were like, oh my gosh, these guys are it, right? I was in awe of both of them, and I still am. And sometimes when you get a chance to meet the people that you were in awe of or kind of heroes, you kind of get nervous about it, and you're like, okay, well, are they going to be as cool in person as you kind of have built up? And in Jim Tressel's case, it even was beyond my expectations. He was just such a great guy on, not just on air, but also off air, talking with him. Just such a good person, and what a great representative of Ohio State. The fact that Ohio State has him to represent as far as a former coach goes, and so just a great experience, Dave.
He's our lieutenant governor now, which we're not going to get into politics. I do find it hilarious, awesome that he was Senator Tressel was his nickname. Senator Tressel. It's like he's never actually going to be in politics until he is. Now he's a lieutenant governor of the state of Ohio. Jim Tressel, we love you. He is one of one, and you nailed it. He's a legendary head coach, but he might even be a better man than that, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
He's a legend in both areas. So Jim Tressel, I'm sure he's listening to the show right now, right? But Jim Tressel, if you are, we love you. And we also love This or That. That's coming up next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Trust. It's something we all value, but also something that's hard to earn, especially when it comes to your home. In a city like Columbus with so many contractors to choose from, how do you know who to trust with one of your biggest investments? At Newman Roofing, we believe trust starts with character and continues with consistent results. As a family-owned and operated company, we built our reputation on hiring good people, value-driven professionals who treat your home with the same care and respect they'd give their home. Our team is committed to delivering a true white glove experience. That means paying attention to the details, communicating clearly, and doing the job right the first time. We use only the highest quality products, installed with precision and backed by proven techniques. That's how we ensure you'll feel confident not just today, but for years to come. And we don't just ask you to take our word for it. With over 770 five-star reviews on Google, you can read story after story from homeowners just like you who trusted Newman Roofing and had their expectations exceeded. When it comes to roofing, gutters, or siding, call the local company built around family, values, and integrity. Newman Roofing. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman Roof.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Cam Taylor at the controls. All right about now, it's time for one of our favorite segments. I can't even call it our favorite because I think Scotty Doesn't Know might have the top spot. But one of our favorite segments, it is This or That. Hit it, Cam.
Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come.
All right, my friends, if you're just tuning into the show, we discussed this earlier. I find this to be fascinating because you can really, I think I could make a good argument either way. You getting with the Indiana Pacers, regardless of what happens tonight, just them getting this far, you getting with the Indiana Pacers are a Cinderella story or no?
I think it's impossible to say that it's not a Cinderella story, just based on the odds. I told you on March 1st, the odds of Indiana winning the NBA championship was 150-1. At the start of the playoffs, the odds on Indiana winning it all was 80-1. That is a Cinderella story, Dave.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against that. Like, again, I'm gonna do the counterpoint first, but I do agree with you because since January, it'd be hard to argue that they're a Cinderella story. I get it. If you're gonna take in the entire regular season into account, they were only 50-32, which would be one of the worst regular season records in recent memory to win the NBA championship. You look at the advanced metrics. The Athletic did a story about this, saying based on the metrics, they would be one of the worst NBA champions of all time. So you add all that up, the odds you just gave, yeah, they are a Cinderella story, but man, since January, they've been really, really good. Obviously, the regular season and then the playoffs. They're very well coached with a future Hall of Fame coach in Carlisle. You watch them play, they don't look like a Cinderella, but I guess I will have to err on the side of believing the math and believing the odds, and I will say, just based on the facts, they are a Cinderella.
I'll have to disagree with both of you. I think, like Dave said, they've had, but them and the Thunder have had the best records in the NBA since the beginning of this year, since after the All-Star break, and then the way they've handled all their series up until the NBA Finals, really being able to just kind of outscore teams and really play their style of basketball. I don't think they're a Cinderella story.
Guys, I'm going to go food with mine, this or that. And part of the reason why I'm going to do that is because on Friday night, my team played a volleyball tournament, and we had a lot of fun. And immediately after the tournament was over, I was starving. And so we went to a little taco truck, and I was debating back and forth between quesadilla or tacos. And so my question to you guys, do you prefer quesadillas or would you go the taco route? Now, you can go soft or hard or whatever kind of taco, but it's tacos versus quesadilla. Who wins?
It's a tie. I'd have to just, I'd have to get a couple of each just to see. No, I mean, I love both. I would get with I'll even give you a specific. If I'm going to a food truck, a taco truck, I'm getting some carne asada street tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Some beef, some like steak, beef, like taco. They, most of those, I can't think of one that I've been through that I haven't loved, those Mexican food trucks. So give me tacos, but you can't go wrong either way.
And again, I absolutely love tacos. Do them very, very frequently. At least once a week do we generally go out and get tacos. However, a great quesadilla, and it has to have the peppers in it and the onions and a good, I like to dip it in queso.
That'd be kind of crispy?
Absolutely crispy. I got to tell you, top-end quesadilla to me beats top-end taco, so I'm going to go quesadilla over taco. Cam?
This is easy for me. I'm definitely going tacos. Love a good al pastor, like Dave said, carne asada, so I'm going to go tacos.
And Camo, I imagine you would wash that down with a Modelo based on the shirt you're wearing right now.
No, he's doing margaritas.
He's right. Oh yeah, he's gonna do margaritas.
I know.
If he was getting a beer, he'd rock the brand of the shirt he's wearing right now, or Coors Light, of course. That you got to get some Coors Light in there as well. That was a good save. All right, Cam, you got one too, my man.
Alrighty, so the Buckeye Country Superfest, I believe, was yesterday, and so are you guys getting with country music or jazz music?
Oh, I am so glad you asked this question, Cam, because I was at the pool yesterday and someone was asking me about country music. And, if I'm a fan of country music, and I can do a couple country songs, but in general, I'm a no on country music. So at that same volleyball tournament, there was a huge line dance. Everybody was at the bar line dancing the country songs, and it honestly gave me a headache. So for me, overall, I cannot do very much country. I would rather do jazz than country.
Yeah, I like both. I like all kinds of music. And you're right, bad country is really, really bad. But good country is really good, too.
Yeah, I can get behind a couple.
And the jazz that I like, that's like old school jazz, like Dave Brubeck, stuff like that, that I really like, even though it's super old school. Overall, I'll go with country. I like, Garth Brooks, The Hits, for example. There's some cheesy songs on there, but you can just play that all the way through. I'll go with country.
Jazz.
Smooth jazz.
Next up, even more this or that coming your way on the money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Hey, I'm Ruben. My band and I have a new song we're getting ready to record this weekend. I'm also a tow truck driver. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I get to go home at the end of the day and see my bandmates.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
All right, more of this or that, and I'll let you guys know. Don't call now, but next segment, top of the hour, we're going to be taking your call, 614-821-9710. You can ask us about the NBA Finals, anything about betting, Ohio State football, Jim Tressel being an awesome human and a coach, anything at all. Give us a call, top of the hour, 614-821-9710. But we're going to continue with some this or that right about now. All right. Are you guys getting with using AI? I don't know what you guys use. If you use AI, you use ChatGPT. I like a little Google Gemini myself. You guys use AI to help you with any work tasks or no?
Oh, it is a huge emphasis here at the radio station that you better be learning AI and how to use it. Yep. And so, yeah, I've started to, and I the stuff that I've been able to do, I like, so I was putting together, I'll just give you a quick example. I was putting together a promo, writing a 30-second promo for the Cardale Jones softball game. And, you got the main details. You plug it in, and it'll spit out a script for you. And so then I'm looking through the script. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. This is probably better than what I can write. So, yes, I am using AI.
I do, and I'm, for writing, I never do, because I just think that's, first of all, that's the same thing as plagiarism in my book, if you're using AI to write you a story. But if I'm doing research, and you could just do this with Google, but, you could ask just more specific questions with some of these large language models, LLMs, and I really like it. I use it. I also use it for tasks around the house that I'm not really familiar with. Like how long do I need to do this or that, a little this or that. But yeah, I do help when I'm looking up information and stuff like that. I definitely use AI to help with my job. What about you, Cam?
I really don't use AI. I'm not a big fan of using it like myself. I still would rather just knock the stuff out myself, and I just don't really see how I can fully incorporate it into my job yet, but maybe further down the line, we'll see.
So one of the cool things that Ohio State basketball has done recently is they have a lot of the former Buckeyes come back and work out with the current Buckeyes during the offseason. So this last week, there were a bunch of former Buckeyes, including Greg Oden and D'Angelo Russell and E.J. Liddell, and William Buford was there, and Sensabaugh and Branham and Kufos. A long list of names were there. And I thought it was a really, really cool idea to bring the former Buckeyes back to work out with the current Buckeyes. And so, of course, it's already got me thinking for going forward with this Ohio State basketball team and what the expectations are going to be for this team. And I think they're a little bit higher based on a lot of the moves that they made. And one of the emphasis is to kind of give Bruce Thornton a little bit more rest and a little bit more depth this year behind him. So, in a whole, now, the obvious challenge for Jake Diebler is make the tournament or miss the tournament. Making the tournament would be a huge step forward for this team that's missed the last few years. Do you think this will be a tournament basketball team this year?
I do. I think they're going to be a better team. I don't think they're going to be a great team by any means. I think they're going to be better than what they were last year. And even though last year was disappointing, at one point it looked like they were definitely going to make the tournament. And they still were like one of like was it the second four out? So they didn't even miss it by that much last year. I am getting with they will make the tournament this year. I wish we'll see about the kid they got from the German kid they got for the wing. I wish they would have got a better wing, but I like the rest of the roster though.
I'm with you. I think this is going to be a tournament team. I think they take a big step forward this year.
Cam?
They better be a tournament team. That's what I'll say.
There we go. That's right.
Oh, drink, mimosas. First hour of the show is in the book. Stick around for the second hour. Like I said, we're going to take your calls next. 614-821-9710. This is On the Money.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
Common Man and Timmy talking to you about the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Our guys at Hollywood are pulling out all the stops for summertime fun, live bands, food trucks, and more fun on select Saturdays.
Are they still doing the all-you-can-eat ribs?
Oh, yes, ribs. Tuesdays and Thursdays in June at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
Join Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on us. Not Hollywood. Timmy and I are paying for it.
No, we're not. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ECO.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get ECO.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get ECO.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get ECO.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Get ECO.
ECO. ECO plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
This 4th of July, Bob's Discount Furniture is bringing back 4 for the 4th. Spotlighting 4 must-have trendsetters for $7.99 and under, like my farmhouse chic Calvin bedroom, Play-Day sectional with pop-up sleeper and hidden storage, Consumer Reports recommended treasure mattress, and my 5-star Betty dining set in 4 gorgeous colors. So stop in or visit mybobs.com and celebrate 4 for the 4th. Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan.
And I'm Cam Taylor. For just the 20th time in NBA history, there will be a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. The Indiana Pacers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight at 8 p.m. in Oklahoma City. Home teams are 15-4 in Game 7s, with the last team to win on the road being the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James over Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. The Cleveland Guardians defeated the Athletics 4-2 yesterday. The two teams will meet again today at 4:05. The Guardians are 38-37 and second in the AL Central. The Cincinnati Reds fell to the St. Louis Cardinals 6-5 in 11 innings yesterday and have now lost 3 games in a row. The two sides will face off today at 2:15. The Reds are 39-38 and fourth in the NL Central. And Tommy Fleetwood is the leader after 3 days at the Travelers Championship at 16 under par. He is looking for his first PGA Tour victory since turning pro in 2010. Russell Henley and Keegan Bradley are both 3 shots back in second at 13 under par.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his bets won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money. 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scotty Vegas. We have producer Cam Taylor at the controls. And we're going to hear from you guys this segment. Give us a call, 614-821-9710. And right about now, it's time for the Parlay Party. Hit it, Cam. Parlay Party is where we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be anything at all. Scotty Vegas, what are you celebrating this morning?
Man, I got a lot to celebrate this morning. What a great time. So Friday, got the opportunity to sit down with Jim Tressel, and we got into we had an hour-long interview with him, and we got into a lot of different topics. And I just got to say, you know, he was a guy who I always looked up to when he was winning the national championship. I was a college student at OU, and just always loved and respected Jim Tressel. And then on Friday, to get the opportunity to meet him, to talk with him, that was such a highlight. I've been here at the Fan almost 15 years, and that goes right near the top of the list of cool things that I got the opportunity to do. On that same show on Friday, we actually also talked to Cardale Jones, which was really cool. He's got a huge softball game coming up later on this summer. Actually, it's about a month from now. Can't wait for that. That's one of my favorite summer events. So those tickets are on sale now at 971thefan.com. If you like to get up close and personal with Ohio State players, both former and current, it's an event I absolutely recommend, and it is a blast to be at. And also talking about events, we had a station event yesterday. Cam was out there, I was out there, and it was called The Race. Over 700 people came out and we did a 5K, we did a 9.71K, and we had a 1 mile, but we had a lot of people out there. It was a lot of fun, got to meet a lot of listeners and a lot of friends of the station, so that was a blast. And then, guys, I just got back from a Florida vacation, and I'm already planning my next vacation, which is going to be a nice little long weekend at Put-in-Bay. Later on this hour, we've got a Scotty Doesn't Know vacation style, but I cannot wait to get to Put-in-Bay, one of my favorite locations, and we're doing that in a couple weeks.
Put-in-Bay will be mentioned during the Scotty Doesn't Know.
Yes, good.
Yeah, it's not yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a vacation theme. That's coming up here in about, 12 minutes. We're going to be doing a Scotty Doesn't Know. 2 of them, in fact. Basically, like, half of this hour is going to be Scotty Doesn't Know. And I'm definitely celebrating that. That's one of the things I'm celebrating. It's always fun doing the Scotty Doesn't Know segments because, you know, most of the stuff Dave doesn't know, really. And I get to do all the research and seem like I'm smart because I know I have the answers. But no, I tell you, for a lot of these, I'll be like, hey, I did not get this one right when I guessed. So, but I'm looking forward to some Scotty Doesn't Know. I'm also looking forward to tonight. We have a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. It's been a heck of a great series. I don't understand people who are like, it hasn't been that good of a series. I think it's been a great series. And I love that we have our first Game 7 in the finals in 9 years. Obviously, the last one was LeBron and the Cavs beating the Warriors to win their championship. So it's crazy. It's been 9 years, but I'm definitely celebrating. We're going to have a Game 7 tonight. Cam, what about you? What are you celebrating?
Definitely celebrating that Game 7. I'll definitely be watching that. And then we've been having really warm weather. I'm not big on that, but I'll take that over the rain every single time. So definitely happy about that.
All right. Let's get back. We'll talk more NBA Finals as well. I want to get back to the Jim Tressel conversation that you had. Did we leave anything on the cutting room floor there? Because there was so much. You guys talked to him. Sorry to put you on the spot like that, Scott, but you guys talked to him so much. And you're right. Think back to when, right before he was hired, it basically came down to Glenn Mason and Jim Tressel. There was also a lot of John Gruden talk. Yeah. Which for a while I just laughed at. I was like, yeah, John Gruden. Then you saw how much John Gruden loves the Buckeyes. You're thinking, maybe there was more of a chance. But no, he was just starting out like as an NFL head coach. He wasn't going to take the Ohio State job then. But there was a lot of, it was Gruden. Jim Tressel was mentioned, but Glenn Mason was the guy everybody thought was going to get the job. And let me tell you, there were some heavy hitters at Ohio State that backed Glenn Mason. Heavy hitters. I'm not going to name names because it's people that I love, and it would sound like I'm like bashing them. People that are great, great ambassadors for the university wanted Glenn Mason, and I think they would be the first to admit now that they were wrong. That took a lot of onions from Andy Geiger. A lot. When you have all of these heavy hitters at Ohio State wanting Glenn Mason, he interviewed him. He thought Jim Tressel was the right man for the job. That's who he hired. But that is interesting. It was like when you have all these, it wasn't just like Glenn Mason was doing a good job at Minnesota. Keep in mind, he came to Columbus and beat the crap out of a Ohio State team that was ranked 5th in the country at the time in 2000, ended up being Cooper's last year. So he had that momentum. He just beat Ohio State. He was a Buckeye, played for Woody, coached here. And for Andy Geiger to get Jim Tressel, because I don't think Glenn Mason would have had nearly the success that Jim Tressel. I think he would have been fine here, but it would have been kind of a continuation of what we saw with Cooper. Hopefully not in the Michigan game, but like where they're like close but can never get over the hump, where Tressel just, man, he's just an absolute legend.
You know, it's funny, Dave, because thinking back to that, and I remember specifically, that was kind of like the start of the message board era, right, as far as sports goes, or at least one of those main ones that I can remember, where it was like, okay, Ohio State's looking for a new head football coach, and every little rumor was coming out, and I remember the talk of like John Gruden is getting on a plane and flying to Columbus to interview, because at that time he was the hot name and the Ohio connections that he had. And then it was like, okay, all of a sudden it's announced that Jim Tressel and Glenn Mason are the two finalists. And then you just kind of assume that, okay, we all know who Glenn Mason is, the success he's had at Minnesota. Okay, he's probably going to be the guy. And then it's Jim Tressel, and it's just like, really? You know, that's a shocking hire. And then we talked about the 310-day speech with Tressel on Friday, and that, I think that immediately won a lot of Buckeye Nation over. And not only that, but like it really, like, you got to like kind of get used to the fact that, okay, Jim Tressel's coming from Youngstown State, coming to Ohio State. The one thing he also told us about is the day that he was hired, he wanted to immediately start recruiting, right? Like as soon as he was hired as head coach, he was out and he was recruiting.
Because he only had 3 weeks to put together his class.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a wild time. And then we just talked a lot about the changes in college football, and so I'll have Cam get ready and play this kind of clip about what he prefers as far as the playoff format going forward, because we talked about this. Because if you think about all the changes since Tressel was coach, obviously we've had so many changes in college football over the last couple years with the NIL and all that stuff, but think about the playoff changes as well, because in the Jim Tressel era, we were in the BCS era where 2 teams made the playoff. However, he did coach at Youngstown State for a very long time, 15 years or so, and so he did go through the playoffs. So he knows the playoff format versus the format that he was coaching in, which was 2 teams, BCS, and all that stuff. So, Cam, let's go ahead and we'll play the Jim Tressel clip about how he prefers an 11-game season and what he thinks college football should do as far as the season playoffs going forward.
I would like one less regular season game. and 16 teams in the playoffs. Because I think there was a little bit of a momentum breaker for those people that ended up with the bye. And it's a little different than the NFL because the NFL's got grown men who have been playing 17 games and they're older and so forth. There's something about young people staying on a groove, and that was a little bit of an advantage for us this year, that we didn't have time to mess around and so forth. When the playoffs started, we had to go through
3 weeks, I think.
We had to go through that period of grieving and being not happy about the way the regular season ended, but that fueled great practices and great conversations.
Would you dump the conference championship game?
Probably.
I love that he said us, and I'm not surprised. And yeah, I mean, he has experience at Youngstown State doing that. That's exactly how they did do it in FCS. I think now they give the top 4 seeds a bye, maybe the top 8. I'd have to look into that. But and that's another thing I always felt good about Jim Tressel, which is easy to say this now when people are questioning the hire. I'm like, the guy won 4 national championships. And it'd be one of those things, it's like kind of like Mountain Union, how they become nobody, unless you're a Mountain Union fan, you probably don't follow them until they're in the D3 national championship game. It was like that every December. I wouldn't have followed Youngstown State all year, and there were 6 different times during the Tressel era. They were in the national championship game, and I would flip it on. They won 4 of those. So I mean, this guy won 4 national titles at Youngstown State, 2 runners-up, and you look at what they've done since. They got to 1 national championship game when Bo Pelini was their head coach at Youngstown State, but really didn't have much of a tradition before then, haven't done anything after, and he turned them into an absolute juggernaut while he was there.
And you know what's crazy, too, and I like what he talked about of changing it to an 11-game season and a 16-team playoff. The wild thing is, like, Jim Tressel didn't coach in Big Ten championship games because they weren't around at that point. And so back in the day, like you're thinking about how Ohio State or teams would have to share conference titles. Whereas now we do that kind of mostly like a lot of, it feels like made for TV championship games. And like you kind of sit back and it's like, is there really value that much in these conference championship games other than these conferences making money? And a lot of times, and now if you're looking at a 16-team playoff or a 12-team playoff, whatever we end up with, like winning a conference championship really doesn't matter all that much as far as your playoff going forward.
Just as to Oregon.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
To your point, even year Ohio State won that national championship in 2002, they actually technically tied for the Big Ten championship with Iowa. Because Iowa's one loss, Iowa did lose to USC in the Orange Bowl, but until then, I think Iowa's only loss was non-conference, I believe, or maybe they didn't. I have to go back and look. They were undefeated in Big Ten play.
That's right.
As was Ohio State, obviously, since they were undefeated, period, that year.
Brad Banks was their quarterback, maybe?
Yes, that's exactly right. I think he was a Heisman finalist. Yeah, good call, Brad Banks. And then real quick, before we take a break here, if you haven't heard, the betting odds tonight, NBA Game 7, the first NBA Game 7 in the finals in 9 years. You have OKC is obviously the favorite. They are favored by 7. You have minus 275 on the money line for the Thunder. If you're a believer in the Pacers, the money line is plus 225. It's a little better odds than I expected. I expected it to be like plus 200, so not too far off. You're getting even a little better odds than I thought. If you're a believer in the yes sirs, plus 225 for the Pacers. The over-under is 214.5. All right, up next is Scotty Doesn't Know on the money.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
When you're a AAA member, we do the hard stuff for you. So picture this. You're taking a road trip through the mountains at night, and you run out of gas. Do you, A, call AAA, or B, walk 29 miles to the nearest gas station in the pouring rain?
A?
How about this? You need auto insurance. You could A, pick AAA to find the best coverage for you, or B, spend so much time researching insurance jargon that you might as well have gotten a law degree.
Yeah, I'm going with A.
Right. Okay, you're booking a vacation. You can A, have AAA plan it for you, or B, stress so hard about layovers and getting to your cruise that you need a vacation from booking your vacation.
That's easy. A, AAA.
On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Fan weather
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
You're all just Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for today. We're tracking plenty of sunshine, hot and humid with highs around 94 degrees with heat index values near 100 this afternoon. So stay cool and stay hydrated and keep in mind the sunshine. UV index very high here for today, so do apply that sunscreen. And we are tracking similar conditions here for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with highs in the mid-90s, and then eventually talk about storm chances here by the end of the week. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Dave Biddle was caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
There's one thing that I'm really confident in saying that I'm really good at, Dave. And it's vacationing. Okay, I love vacationing, and I think I'm pretty good at it. Last month, I went down to Florida, and of course, that whole vacation was beach, pool. It was playing cards. It was golfing. It was playing tennis. I know how to vacation. And guess what? As soon as I got back from Florida, my first thought was, let's plan another vacation. And so I'm doing another vacation next month. So I feel pretty good heading into this Scotty Doesn't Know. You've got Scotty Doesn't Know vacationing on tap here. So, Cam, let's hit it.
We need to have Matt Damon on the show sometime.
Yes.
You know, I think he'd really appreciate that. All right. First one. What is the most popular vacation destination in the world? It's a city. What is the most popular vacation destination in the world?
Is it New York City?
It is not. It's not in the United States.
Okay. It's going to be Paris.
Yes. Nailed it. Nailed. Now think about one of your recent answers here. What is the most popular vacation destination in the United States of America?
Would it be New York City?
It would be, yes.
Okay.
Now, I find this interesting. So I have the top 10. I'm not going to have you guess the top 10. Do you know which city is in second place? Behind New York City is the most popular vacation destination. This surprised me a little bit, but the more I think about it, it makes sense.
I would guess Miami.
No, they are 3, though. So that's close. Same state. You're in the right state.
Jeez. Key West?
No. This is think Mickey.
Oh, Orlando.
Yeah. Because of Disney. Yep.
Darn it.
And then it goes L.A., Vegas. I was surprised Vegas was San Francisco. 7th is D.C., 8th is Chicago, 9th is Honolulu.
10 is Columbus.
And 10th is Boston.
Oh.
Well, there'll be Columbus a little bit later. All right. Then we're going to go around the world a little bit. Most of this is going to be United States and Ohio theme. We're going to go around the world a little bit more here. What is the most popular vacation destination in Asia? I would have got this wrong when I was doing I guessed a different.
Hong Kong?
No. You're on the right continent, though. That's my little joke. You are in Asia. All right. I think there was an 80s song about this town. One night in
Tokyo.
Bangkok, Thailand. I guess Tokyo.
I don't know
Tokyo,
the song
I think,
either.
is second. Bangkok. One night in Bangkok makes a tough guy crumble.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's a good song. Yeah, One Night in Bangkok.
Maybe
Bangkok,
sing
Thailand
more of it. Maybe
is not. No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
I think I already butchered it.
Come on.
All right, I got this one wrong too. The most popular vacation destination in South America. What city?
Rio.
That's what I thought too. That's second. Dave didn't know either. Very close to there, and it barely beats out Rio. And they're neighboring countries. It's the capital of the second biggest country in South America behind Brazil. All right, Buenos Aires.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't
Argentina.
have gotten that.
Beautiful city.
All right, I think you'll get this one. Which country in the Caribbean is the most popular vacation destination?
I would think Jamaica, just because I've done it multiple times.
That's the second one, but there's one that's ahead of it. Think Ellie De La Cruz and many other baseball players.
The Dominican Republic?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Ahead of
Punta Cana.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
Punta Cana.
That surprises me a little bit.
I think they have more.
Scotty didn't know.
Scotty didn't know that, but Jamaica is number 2 as far as that. All right.
Have you been to Jamaica?
I have been to Jamaica once, but that was a cruise ship. We actually took we had an all-inclusive, my wife and my 2 daughters. God, that was 7 years ago. That was like when LeBron, we were down there when the NBA Finals were getting played. That's when like Durant had joined the Warriors. I remember the NBA Finals were down there. We were down there for them, but we were down there for a whole week in Punta Cana, and then, but yeah, I was on a cruise ship way back in the day. We took a day trip to, we took a trip to a port at Jamaica.
We actually did our honeymoon. Which happy anniversary, Carrie! Our 19-year anniversary was yesterday.
Oh, happy anniversary!
And we went to Ocho Rios 19 years ago. So yeah, that was which is in Jamaica.
Okay, so we've got several awesome national parks. Yeah, congratulations to the Pro Cops. That's awesome. Beating the odds, right?
I kind of forgot it was yesterday.
And you said something on the air, though. Way to go. Happy anniversary, Carrie and Scott. All right. We have a lot of great national parks in our country. All right. What is the most popular national park in America as far as people who visit there?
Okay, I know this because I've gone multiple times. Great Smoky Mountains.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought it was, but here's what I didn't know. It has more than 2 times the visitors of any other national park in our country every year. More than 2 times. Because of its location, there's so much to do and everything's free. And everything's free.
Yeah.
Not if you, obviously if you go at one of the attractions like Dollywood, that's not free. But you know what I mean? All the stuff you're doing is free. I was surprised more than 2 times. I'm going to name some of these other ones.
Well, here's the great thing too. It's such an easy drive from Ohio,
and
right?
And think about where it's and Ohio and many other spots,
and all of the other states around.
Some of these other places you would think would be more popular,
right? Like Grand Canyon. I'm
that's
thinking
number 2.
Yeah,
nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Scotty knows. Ding. Woo! All right. And that's number 2. Grand Canyon National Park is the second most, which I bet that'd be number 1 if it was located, closer to everybody. I thought this one might have had a chance at being number 1, but it's number 3. Do you want to just guess?
I'm guessing it's Yellowstone.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. All right, number 4. I wouldn't have guessed this. This is in Utah. You want to guess number 4?
Oh.
Zion National Park.
Yeah, I did not know.
I'm just going to go through here. Okay, I'm going to give you the state of Colorado.
Rocky Mountain.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
All right, state of California for the next one. Yosemite.
Oh.
And then next I'll just go through here. Acadia, which is in Maine. Olympic, which is in Washington. And then Grand Teton, which is just south of Yellowstone. Oh, and then one more, 10th is Glacier National Park in Montana.
Okay, I wouldn't have known those.
Yes, that's why I was going to go through. Okay. Now, this I really like these next couple. I like all of them. All right. This surprised me, but I like it. What is the most popular vacation destination in Ohio? You can name, it's really like a region. We're going to go by regions is how they did this. When I looked this up, I used Google Gemini.
Oh.
Most popular vacation destination in Ohio, and it's by a decent margin.
Okay. So this is where I got to think on this one because I don't want to get this wrong.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's so much to do up in the Cleveland, Lake Erie area.
Cleveland, I will say Cleveland and Lake Erie Islands and Shores are 2 different categories.
Okay,
here.
then I'm going to go with the Lake Erie Shores, including the Put-in Bays and
that's what I would have guessed. Kelly's Island and all that stuff, and Cedar Point and all that.
Correct, Sandusky.
I thought that'd be number 1. That's number 2.
Really? It's Cleveland.
Cleveland's greater Cleveland area is number 3. Number 1,
Cincinnati. The river?
We'll get to it. No. The most popular vacation destination in Ohio, again, according to my AI friend Google Gemini, is the greater Columbus area.
What?
Here's what they say. Columbus has seen significant growth in tourism, attracting a massive number of visitors. Over 51 million in 2023, although many are day trips or visiting family and friends, but that counts. It's a major hub for conventions. Many sporting events, such as Ohio State University, has popular attractions like the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, which is consistently ranked among the nation's best zoos, has COSI, Franklin Park Conservatory, and a vibrant downtown with shopping and dining.
Wow. Okay,
Columbus.
That surprised me. But when you read that little description, that makes sense. Because also think about all those people that are obviously coming in to watch an Ohio State football game. Think about this year alone when you're going to have all the people from Texas coming up.
Yes.
Those are visitors. Anybody who's outside of Columbus coming
CBJ,
in for that
MLS.
game.
Yeah. Isn't that right? We've done a great job of downtown. It does make sense when you think about it. But I would have guessed the number 2 on the list is
Put-in Bay and that area.
Yeah, Lake Erie, Shores and Islands. So that includes Cedar Point, the roller coaster capital of the world. Yep. It includes Put-in Bay, Kelly's Island. Great. I'm surprised that's not number 1, but I think it's cool Columbus is. But yeah, Lake Erie, Shores and Islands. Then I'll just give you the other
3 is Cleveland.
3 is Cleveland. 4.
Cincinnati?
No, Cincinnati's 5. 4. Think of this isn't this isn't a city.
Canton?
This is a state park.
Oh.
You'll get it.
Will I?
Somewhat toward where you went to college. Not really, but near somewhere in that area of the state.
And I went in Athens.
Think of a cave named after an old man.
Okay, Hocking.
Hocking Hills is 4th.
How did I miss Hocking?
So once again, it goes Greater Columbus, then it goes Lake Erie, Shores and Islands, Cedar Point, Put-in Bay, Kelly's Island, all that. Then Greater Cleveland, Hocking Hills, and then Greater Cincinnati, which includes Kings Island, the Cincinnati Open, everything.
Okay, me missing Hocking. Play the song. Can't believe I missed
it. Was a pretty good. I gave him a pretty good hint too. All right, so we're gonna do even more Scotty Doesn't Know next on the money.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts are on sale for just $2.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. You're home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. Wanna play?
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Cam Taylor. We are doing some more Scotty Doesn't Know.
Can I just say that I appreciate all the happy anniversary texts. I had 3 different people text in happy anniversary. And here's the true story. So we had the race yesterday morning, which was an incredible station event that we put on. And it was a very early morning. It was a 5 a.m. wake-up call. And so I kind of, to be honest with you, Dave, forgot about the anniversary until actually someone in our family texted, happy anniversary, you two. And I'm like, oh, geez, I completely forgot till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Did she know that you forgot, or were you able to play it off?
I honestly think she kind of forgot too.
Okay.
We're not big anniversary celebrators, although.
Next year you need to be for your 20th.
Yes. And I think it's actually, this was 18 and next year will be 19. So I got that wrong too.
Whatever.
The number of years. I appreciate all the texts. And next time, please text me the day before the anniversary so that it helps me remember.
Scotty, don't forget your anniversary this year, buddy.
Yeah.
No, but happy anniversary. I'm glad people are texting. That means people are listening to the show. So that's great. All right, let's get back to some Scotty Doesn't Know. This is vacation themed. We're both coming off vacation. Scotty already has another one planned. 2, Put-in-Bay, no less. You going to get a little Cedar Point while you're up there, too? You're not a big roller coaster guy.
I'm not a huge roller coaster guy, but the kids will probably want to go up there for the day. So, yeah, we'll probably do Cedar Point as well.
We're so not lucky to have.
But I do Put-in-Bay every year, Dave.
And Kings Island. See, when I've gone to Put-in-Bay, it's been like for bachelor parties and stuff. That hasn't been really big for like a family, bringing my kids there. I always think of like bachelor parties and some debauchery that went on when I was in my 20s.
There's debauchery, but we do it from Sunday to Wednesday. So, not quite as crazy as the weekends are.
One of my buddies had a bachelor party there. Obviously, we stayed overnight and everything. And then another buddy that was there, when he got married, he, of course, had us go to Put-in-Bay for a bit. He's like, I had so much fun. We're definitely going to Put-in-Bay. I'm like, okay, sure, it is. It's a good place for bachelor parties. And I guess to take your family for a day trip as well. Yeah. All right. So why do we call them vacations? I mean, like in England, they call them holiday. You're going to go on holiday. We call them vacations in the United States. Why?
Yeah, because you're leaving the area. You're vacating the area. It's a vacation, right?
Nailed it.
Okay.
Nailed it. All right. Let's get to the next one here. Which U.S. states have the most tourism? We'll go to the top 5.
Okay, I'm gonna go Florida at 1.
Nailed it.
Number 2, give me New York. I was between New York and California. I'll go New York.
No.
Just California?
Yeah.
No.
And then
New York.
Yep.
All right.
All right, 4th. Think big.
Oh, Texas.
Nailed it. All right, this one.
A little surprise. Hawaii. Give me Hawaii at 5.
5th. No. Think sports gambling. Or gambling in general.
Nevada.
Nice job. Now, where does Ohio rank? This is going to be multiple choice.
Okay.
It's going to be a range. Where does Ohio rank as far as, the states in America that have the most tourism? Is Ohio in the top 10?
No.
Is Ohio in the top 20?
No.
Is Ohio in the top 30?
No.
Wrong. We are in the top 10, barely.
What?
We're right around 8th or 9th generally. We've fallen as low as 10th. Yeah. We're the 7th largest state.
Me.
Yeah. We're not 7th in tourism, but we're in the top 10 consistently. So we're also in the top 20 and top 30.
Ahead of West Virginia?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
I believe
That's
so just because of how big the state is. Although West Virginia has some cool stuff to do. Like,
they do.
whitewater rafting on the New River is cool stuff for sure. All right. Which U.S. states have the least amount of tourism? Number 1 on this surprised me, but it makes sense the more I think about it.
It's going to be a small state.
It's going to be a big state.
Oh.
I'll give it away. What super big state might not have a lot of people get there because it's hard to
Alaska?
Get? Nailed it. All right. Number 2.
Vermont.
No. North Dakota.
Really?
North Dakota, yeah. The only reason South Dakota is probably not on the list is because of
Mount Rushmore. Right?
Exactly. Number 3, think Joe Biden.
Delaware.
Nailed it. Number 4. This surprised me that this is on the list of the least amount of tourism, considering we mentioned Yellowstone earlier.
Utah?
No.
Arizona. No, Arizona's. Where is Yellowstone? Yellowstone, Colorado. No, that's not right. Where is Yellowstone?
Wyoming.
Oh.
Scotty doesn't know where Yellowstone's at. I didn't know that.
I did not. I'm not a West Coast fella.
5th and final one on the least amount of tourism-heavy states in the United States. This is a Big Ten state.
Ooh.
Relatively new member. Not
Nebraska.
Yes, nailed it. All right, a few more here. How many Great Lakes are there?
Oh, boy.
I just was up there.
I should know this.
Yes.
I'm going to go with 6. 5.
Which one is the biggest? Come on. Which one's the biggest? Even has it in its name, kind of.
Superior. Okay.
Which one is the smallest?
Can I tell you, I don't know all the names of these.
It's a...
Give me some names of the Great Lakes.
Okay, so you have Michigan, Huron, Ontario, and Erie.
I'm going to go with Erie as the smallest.
No, we're second. That's the second smallest. I said we. Ontario's the smallest. All right, we'll move on. I just was up there, so I wanted to do a little Great Lakes. Lake Superior, if you look at the stats of Lake Superior, it's unbelievable how big it is, how vast it is, and then how deep it is. It's insane. Like, Lake Superior is awesome. It was cool seeing it for the first time. All right. Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas is the largest cruise ship in the world. How many football fields could you fit on it? We'll give you, I need a range. I don't need a specific. How many football fields? And there is a decimal point involved, so it's not like just straight up one number. But that's why I'm going to give you a range.
So we're talking from one end of the ship to the other end of the ship.
How many full 100-yard football fields could you fit on this cruise ship? That's the largest cruise ship in the world.
I'll say 5.
No, it's 3.3.
Oh,
3.3. It's also the height of a 20-story building, the Icon of the Seas. They're actually building one, Royal Caribbean, that's going to have its maiden voyage late this year. That's actually going to be a little bit bigger. Do you like cruise ships?
I love cruises. Yeah, I do the Buckeye Cruise very often.
That's true.
I love it.
That's true. All right. A couple more here. What country outside of the United States do Americans travel to the most? Do you want a hint or do you want to guess first?
No, I don't want a hint. All right. So from the U.S. to another,
yes.
I would guess probably going down south to Cancun to Mexico, right?
Nailed it. Yeah, you think about Cabo,
Close.
Cancun, Acapulco.
Mexico.
Mexico,
think about it. Everybody in Texas, right?
Exactly.
That'd be an easy vacation.
Exactly. And you have Cozumel. A lot of cruise ships go. Mexico with the proximity and so much to do. Mexico's number 1. All right. Do you know number 2?
I would guess Canada.
Nailed it. All right. Number 3. These are the Countries that Americans travel to the most outside of the United States. What's number 3?
This one, I think we're going to go in Europe. Is it in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay, England.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then, go over the English Channel and give me number 4. Go through the channel and give me number 4. Or,
Are we going to Ireland?
No. Do you know the English?
I'm not good at geography, Dave.
The channel connects England and the place that has the most popular city in the world.
Oh, in France.
France. There you go. France is 5th. We'll go through this quickly.
So
5th.
there's usually one time during Scotty Doesn't Know where I feel like a complete idiot. That is where
you are doing really well,
Okay.
I think. All right, number 5. We mentioned this earlier. This is a Caribbean country. Number 5, most populous country, or most Americans travel to this country. Other than the 4 that we mentioned, what's number 5 that Americans love to travel to?
And it's in the Caribbean?
It's in the Caribbean.
And you mentioned it already.
Yes. We talked about this one.
It's not Jamaica.
No, it's the other one.
It's the other one.
Yes, and you were a little flummoxed that this was
and I don't remember what it was. I don't
your
have a
hint
good
is
memory.
Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh, the Dominican Republic.
The Dominican Republic. And like 300 other fantastic baseball players. All right, number 6, I think this is a popular place that Americans travel to, also in Europe. I think Tony Soprano. I just gave it away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Italy.
All
right, 7th, also in Europe.
So we did France, we did Italy.
This used to be split into 2 countries, actually, because they were a bad boy during World War II.
Oh.
Come on. I'm giving you too much easy hints here.
Yeah, that's not fair. Okay, so, all right, Germany.
Yeah, and then what's that next? Another popular place in Europe.
How about Ireland?
No, Ireland's not on the list. I'll just give it to you. So I'll drink. I'm sorry about that, Cam. All right, Spain.
Okay.
The next is your honeymoon. Next country is Jamaica. And then the 10th and final one on the list is Japan.
Really?
All right.
Okay.
Now, speaking of vacations, this is a place I have never been. My wife's been there. I've never been. I want to take a vacation here. It's in the United States, which is good because the question is, what United States city is widely considered to have the best weather year-round?
San Diego.
Yes. Nailed it. Which I think would be a good perk when picking a vacation destination. It's like always just like perfect weather there.
Yeah, but is there that much to do there? Like I know
You're
that
on the
you got
Pacific
the beach,
Ocean,
right?
Yeah. Go see a Padres game. No, I'm kidding. Okay, this is another one I got wrong. I knew it was down to 2, and I picked the wrong one. Which month is the most popular vacation month for Americans?
Okay, so let me think about this. So we got probably June. A lot of people are getting out of school, and summer is just beginning. But I'm going to go July because you got the full month. Yes,
Nailed
July.
it. I thought it was June. It's July, closely followed by June, and then August. Makes sense. Our 3 summer
And then I
months.
assume December
But
probably.
July. I didn't even go past the top 3. It was July. I just plugged in, give me the number 1, and Google Gemini spit out July, closely followed by June and August. All right, final one. Generally speaking, what do Americans forget to take with them most when they go on vacation?
Oh. So I usually, this is pretty bad, but I a lot of times forget deodorant. Would that be number 1?
No, I think that's on the list.
Shampoo.
No.
Please tell me it's not underwear.
Not underwear.
It's socks.
It's not clothes. Number 1 is not clothes. It has nothing to do with clothes. In fact, number 2 doesn't have anything to do with clothes either.
Is it cash?
It's not cash.
Passport. They forget the passport.
No. Because we're including times when they're not leaving the country. You could be traveling across the country in America, and Americans,
wallet.
Generally speaking, forget this.
Oh, your phone.
No, not the phone itself.
Charger. Oh, my God.
Oh, I feel bad. You overall are doing really good. Overall, and the second one that we forget the most is, you know
what
that?
are you doing? Oh, brushing your teeth. Okay.
Yeah, we forget a toothbrush. Yeah, but we forget our phone chargers the most.
Wasn't sure what was going on.
But we are good about remembering underwear, which is good.
Yes.
Phone
charger, who cares? You can buy one for $10.
Well, that's the same thing with if you forget, unless you're going someplace that's like off the grid. If you forget like shampoo or deodorant, you just go and buy them.
It's a good point.
You know, but it's like anything. You're not really unless you're going off the grid. You can buy anything you forgot. Really.
So, quick funny story. So one time we were going to the beach in South Carolina, and I had a huge suitcase, and I completely forgot underwear. Like I had packed everything for the entire trip, and I 5 polos and a bunch of shirts, like T-shirts and shorts and pants, and I brought everything. I brought like toys for the beach, all that stuff. Completely forgot to pack undies.
Cam, I'm not getting with Scotty going commando. I'm just like, if we're doing this or that, I can't get with that. I think he's got to go to the local store and just buy a bunch of underwear.
As far as forgetting things too, I'm kind of surprised that because socks are easy to forget.
Yeah, but
or
phone chargers,
swimsuits.
Did you bring your swimsuit but forgot your underwear?
I did bring the swimsuit.
So you've been okay then.
Yeah, would have been all right.
He's nasty.
And how long did it take you to go to the store and buy underwear? As soon as you got there? As soon as you learned that you didn't have underwear.
Once you open up that suitcase and you realize no undies in here.
I'm glad you didn't say, a couple days later, I finally went and got some. went commando for a few days and finally went out in a local grocery store, local Walmart or whatever, and got some underwear. All right, up next is Best Bets. This is On the Money.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is bringing the funny this summer. Tiffany Haddish takes the mic on Friday, July 18th with the Funny and Fearless Tour. Then Dion Cole Live hits the stage Friday, September 5th for a night of nonstop laughs. 2 comedy icons, 2 unforgettable nights. Get your friends, grab a drink, and get ready to laugh all night long. Big names, big laughs, only at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Visit HollywoodColumbus.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
At QC Kinetics, we're all about keeping you in the game, helping you get lasting relief from joint pain. That's why we're excited to announce that QC Kinetics is now partnering with the National Pickleball League. So many of our satisfied patients are avid pickleball players, and they're thrilled with how we've helped them get back on the court. As lead sponsor of the National Pickleball League, we're committed to help pickleball fans of all ages with the latest, most advanced regenerative cell treatments. These treatments use your body's own healing power, revitalizing and restoring damaged joint tissue the natural way, with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Whether you're a pickleball fanatic or enjoy golf or running or tennis, stay in the game with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, proud to promote active, pain-free living as a lead sponsor of the National Pickleball League. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas both think they're right. Chances are they're both wrong. On the Money presents Best Bets.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
You know what's amazing about Best Bets and Awaken 180 is what am I eating right now during the commercial break? It is a nice cereal from my friends at Awaken 180. It's delicious. It's the Cinnamon Toast Puffs. I love it. I did Awaken 180 last year. Lost about 45 pounds on Awaken 180.
You're looking good, my man.
And have worked hard to keep it off. But Awaken 180 with amazing products. And we are very happy that Best Bets is sponsored by Awaken 180. And here's the deal for me as far as Best Bets, Dave, for this Sunday. I've got a little parlay, a summer parlay that I put together. And it is Jannik Sinner to win Wimbledon. I know he collapsed at the French Open and lost to Alcaraz in an incredible match.
That was great.
Well, you and I were on vacation.
You and I were texting each other. You're like, this match, oh my God.
So good. Yeah. But I think Sinner gets it done at Wimbledon on grass. I think he's better than Alcaraz is. I'm also adding on the women's side Sabalenka to that.
Sabalenka.
She's plus 180. And then Scotty Scheffler to win the British Open, the Open Championship. He's plus 475. I didn't cash in on the big bet I had for the U.S. Open, but I feel like Scotty is a good bet at nearly 5-1 in the Open Championship. And then the last part of this parlay, which I'm putting together, is Ohio State just to make the college football playoff. Yep, that is available at the ESPN Bet app now. You can take Ohio State just to make the playoff. Odds minus 320. There's no chance they're not making the playoff this year. So that four-way parlay, Dave, pays $100, pays $5,300. That's my best bet for this Sunday. How about you?
I still like, I've mentioned this before, but those that haven't heard, I'm surprised Illinois' over-under for wins is 7.5. I think they're going to go over that. I have them at 9-3, so even if they go 8-4, you win the bet. I'll be very surprised if they're 7-5 or worse, and that's what it would take for you to lose the bet. They were a good team last year. They won 10 games. I think they're going to be better this year. They have a veteran quarterback coming back, a lot of other starters coming back. Bielema, whatever you think of him, is doing a good job there. I think Illinois is going to be better than what they were last year. Not quite as easy of a schedule as Indiana had last year, but still sets up decently well for them. They do have to host Ohio State, but I think Illinois over 7.5 wins, I really like. I think the Fighting Illini are going to be a good team this year, and it wouldn't surprise me if they get to 10-2. But I have them pegged at 9-3. So I love it when you have a little wiggle room there. You know, it's not. I'm not going to throw it on the lock. I'm not going to go lock city on you, but it's close to a lock. At 7.5, I really, really like the over there.
Okay, so how aggressive can we be with Illinois then? Can we take them to make the college football playoff?
I wouldn't do that.
Last year's Indiana?
I wouldn't go that
5-1.
I have it 9-3. So I think 9-3 Illinois would not get in. Okay. 9-3 Ohio State would if it was like they lose close games of like Texas, maybe even at Illinois by a last-second field goal, and like against Penn State by real. It had to be close games. 9-3 Ohio State would get in, but 9-3 Illinois would not. By the way, Ohio State's not going to be 9-3.
Can we use our platform here, Dave, to ask ESPN Bet to allow us to parlay to make the playoffs? Because boy, is that annoying that we can't.
It is annoying. It's bumming me out. That was why you and I had fun last year. It was so new. It was the first year of the 12-team playoff. They had all these to make the playoffs, which they have those bets out now, as you're mentioning. You can bet on whether a team's going to make the playoff or not. But last year we could parlay it. You could parlay and say, okay, these 6 or 7 teams are going to make it. I'm going to parlay, and you'd be getting crazy odds. They must have got hit pretty hard. And it's not just ESPN Bet. I noticed other sites are not offering it. They must have got hit pretty hard to completely take that off the table for parlays.
Well, it does stink. However, it is nice to see to make the playoff odds up there. Now, a lot of times that is the case where early on when odds come out, you cannot parlay them. And as we get closer to the season, they do allow it. So we will see. I will ask Noah Kirk, who is the sportsbook manager at Hollywood Casino, if that is kind of on the agenda of allowing people to parlay make the playoff. It is kind of interesting if you're going through the Big Ten and looking at the teams and their odds to make the playoff. Penn State -240 to make it. Oregon -280 to make it. Ohio State, as I mentioned in my best bet, they're -320 to make it. Those are the 3 teams that have the better odds to make the playoffs. Now, the longer shots to make the playoff, we mentioned Illinois. They're 5-1 to make it. Indiana, who made it last year, is 6-1. Iowa and Kirk Ferentz, who always seems to have like that schedule that you look at and you're like, oh, this could be a surprise team. They're +750 to make the playoffs. And then if you're wondering about Michigan to make the college football playoffs this coming year is 2-1.
They're not making the playoffs.
No, they're not.
Not happening. By the way, you see Wisconsin is suing Miami?
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about that. I mean,
weird.
I don't know. I get it. I mean, the kid breached his contract, but it's like, geez, that's a bad look for Wisconsin. The Athletic did a story, and like all the comments were basically some version of, how about focus on not sucking before you yeah, seriously. I mean, you're entering year 3 of the Fickle, and I want Luke to do well. Not when he plays Ohio State this year. I want Luke to do well. It hasn't gone well. He tried to go to air raid offense. Now they're going back to their roots. I don't know why he tried to change that. All right, that is our show for today. For Scotty Vegas and Cam Taylor, I am Dave Biddle. But do not go anywhere, because up next, we have the Ryan Baker Show, starring Ryan Baker, featuring Ryan Baker. I'm kidding. It's the Fan Collins Show with Scotty and Ryan. Give the boys a call at 614-821-9710. This has been On the Money.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. And for a limited time, we're offering new patients a free first visit to help you get back to feeling like the man you're meant to be. This includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient Columbus area locations in Hilliard and Westerville.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get 1 line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay ECO to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get ECO to replace it.
Get ECO.
ECO. What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying ECO to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Get ECO.
ECO.
ECO plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedic